Hey everyone, this is Dave, the old man melter, coming to you from inside my house. I have a little office set up here. We converted a garage into a cottage, and here we live. And this is my wonderful bookshelf back here. On the shelf, you'll see two books by um, Ralph Epperson, The New World Order, and The Unseen Hand. Excellent books. I highly endorse them. If you want to know what we're going through politically and with the New World Order and stuff, get those two books and read it. You'll know why. It's been in the brew for a long time, folks. And of course, next to it is my book, Unholy Communion. You can find it in places. It's been out of print for a while now, but it talks about how do I say this? It's really hard to put into words without offending somebody. But it's about alien abduction and UFOs and stuff like that, and how they're more of a metaphysical uh, event that comes from the metaphysical realm, but manifests in the physical realm as physical entities or UFOs or whatever. And they're fallen angels and demons. So anyway, let's get off of that. All right, I haven't put a video on here in almost a month, it looks like, and I wanted to let you know why. But well, talk to the weatherman. uh, it's been raining here for at least 3.5 months, almost every day, and that's why you can't really go out and melt out in the rain. It's not advisable, and I can't even imagine all the things that could happen if you tried to do that. It's crazy. But not to mention some fantastic and magnificent steam explosions that might happen because you decided to do that. But um, anyway, uh, so what have I been doing? Well, I mentioned in another video, I think it was the last one, that I was going to start extracting the silver off of silver plated items. And, I did it this one way with not too good a result. The way I did it was using electricity and using an electrolyte. And the easiest electrolyte you can make is salt water. Okay, so I got a 5 gallon bucket and put a whole thing of salt in there, making a nice thick medium. And it worked for a little while, but it wasn't the best thing. And so if you want to try it, go ahead and do it. Maybe you'll have more of a success than I did, but I'm not going to do that. For me, it's a waste of time. And so what I'm going to try is getting some acids, sulfuric acid and nitric acid. Uh, the first part I'm going to do is just going to try nitric acid. It looks like it's a pretty good and pretty easy thing. You just put your item in nitric acid and wait for the silver to come off of it, and then you clean it with some water, and then cleaner water and cleaner water, and then you can touch it after that. But anyway, so yeah, if you want to try the salt water and the electricity, go ahead. But so yeah, what I did is with that I took a 5 gallon bucket, a paint bucket. I've got lots of those laying around. And like I said, I filled it with. We have well water here, so we don't have fluoride and all that chlorine in the water because that presents with a problem if you try to do that with those things in the water. But the well water is pretty clean. It's actually some of the cleanest well water I've ever had. And there is a little arsenic in it, but hey, what the heck? Um, yeah, so I got that, filled the bucket up, probably about almost full actually. Um, Probably about maybe an inch down from the top. And I went. A friend of mine named Todd. He had these. If you want anything, you go to him. All right. So I told him I needed a piece of stainless steel to use for an electrode. And what I ended up getting from him is a very large. I don't know what the heck it was used for, but and it's about this thick, probably about 10 inches round. Um, and flat, about an inch and a half thick, I guess. I don't know. And so what I did is I put a copper wire and I wound it pretty tight around that disc, dropped it to the bottom of the tank, and then had the wire coming up, and that went to the. Trying to think of how I did this now. It's been a couple of weeks, at least maybe 3 weeks. that goes to the negative. Yeah, that goes to the negative. Okay. And so then what you do is you get another copper wire. That's what I used anyway. And I drilled holes in the plate, with the silver plating, and put the wire through there and wound it up, and put it into the medium, not touching the other plate. Okay, you can't have that. You'll probably blow up your transformer. But yeah, so I had a transformer there, a simple, one of the cheaper ones you can find, 120 volt to 12 volt, and hooked it up to that, and you could tell it was working because when you turned it on, you could see the bubbles, right, little tiny bubbles rising from each end. And I found that the first items that I put in there worked the best, and then as I kept adding items, it just either the silver's too thick or whatever, and so one of the items that I did actually with the base metal was it's German silver, and basically it's garbage metal, and so much so that it was hard to tell where the silver ended and that began. So that piece was kind of funky, and I can't use it for anything because I don't need that metal to melt down. I'll probably save it until I get a whole bunch of it and then melt it down and see what happens. But so then I did a few items that had brass, and the brass seemed to work. No, copper worked the best, and then brass. But it leaves you. Pardon me, folks. Buddy. I've got a couple of dogs that don't like being around each other. They tolerate each other, but that's about it. Yeah, so I dip it in there, and I'd give it like 20 minutes to a half hour. These guys online are telling me, "Oh yeah, you just wait 15 minutes and the silver's gone." I don't know what they did different than what I did. I mean, I followed their instructions to the nth degree, and it didn't work that well for me. Um, so I ended up doing that with copper, brass, and that's about it. But and what I've been doing in the meantime too, because I can't melt, I've been getting these bigger pieces of aluminum that I have, because that's what I'm going to melt next, and cutting them into decent sized pieces that'll fit into crucible. I mean, one of them was a motor housing, and it was like that big around. So I did a lot of grinding and then a lot of hammering to break it apart. And so when I do that, I'll put a video on about that too. But I don't know. This hobby, I'm going to call it, is I don't know if it's for everybody. I enjoy it because I've always been the kind of person that wants to see what is made. In other words, a watch. If I have a watch and I don't need it anymore, I take it apart to see all the little gears and all the intricacies of it. And same thing with computer boards and stuff, because computer boards have a lot of gold and silver in them. You have to, well, not a lot, but enough compared to the size of the board. It's quite a bit, but so there's a way to melt that all down, or to put it in an acid solution and get the gold and silver out of there. So I'm gonna work on that also. So I found ways to keep myself busy when I can't melt. That's the important thing, because I really like melting. It's a lot of fun. It really is. I've been blessed in that I've got a couple of suppliers for pipe and stuff like that. So as a matter of fact, I got to call the guy probably on Monday and go up there next Wednesday and pick up some. They gutted a couple of cabins, and he's got some copper for me and some brass. So, and that's the best, just to put the word out there. Hey, I'm a melter. I need metal. I need copper and brass and aluminum. And you'd be surprised what you come up with. People offer you and stuff. It's and aluminum's all over the place. I tore down or tore up a couple of weed eaters. Lots of copper in the motor, and then like the I call them stalks, the poles for extending and stuff like that hold the cutter head. They're all aluminum, so you cut those up and put them in, and Anyway, that's something I'm doing too. Is I'm getting everything in order so that when the sunshine finally comes back, if it comes back, maybe God's doing something with the sun and I don't know about it. He's giving me clouds, so I don't worry. But anyway, so that's where it stands right now, folks. And I basically just got on here to tell you that the salt water thing with the current doesn't work for me anyway. If I had to leave it in there all night or something like that, but who's got the time to do that? It's. I mean, you'd have to get a transformer or power transformer or reducer that was gigantic in order to do a bunch of pieces. And then you got to worry about, what am I going to find to put it in? Because most of those plates and stuff are quite big. I mean, you can cut them down, sure, but anyway. So, and another thing I'm going to do this summer, the coming summer, spring, I'm going to. I've been saving up a lot of the slag that I've been getting, the dross from the copper. Tons of that, man. I must have about maybe 10 pounds of dross. So I'll be melting that down. I'll probably get about 2 pounds of copper out of it. And sorry, if you want a dog that's smart but stupid at the same time, get yourself a Labradoodle. We picked one up about a year and a half ago, and right away he figured out how to open up doors. If it's bad, he can figure it out. And I guess, since I named him Rocco, that's probably has something to do with it. A nice mafia name for a dog, but beautiful dog. He's like a cocoa brown, and with the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen, but very big, about 100 pounds. So anyway, so that's what I contend with when I'm making these videos, just so you know. So again, check these books out. The New World Order by Ralph Epperson, The Unseen Hand by Ralph Epperson, Unholy Communion. I don't know. You can find it out there. Since it's out of print, they're asking a lot of money for it. So, but write to me if you're interested. I might be able to make you an offer on a way to get the book without actually sending you the book. Okay. And I think you should have my email address along with this page. Now, in closing, I also do another show called Opposing the Matrix. I've been doing that for, since 2010, so 14 years? And it keeps me busy, of course. I'm on twice a week and stuff like that. And it's on Rumble. I would really like to put it on YouTube, but YouTube has so many rules and regulations. And I believe in freedom of speech, and I don't want to be bound by rules and regulations. By saying one word, maybe I get the whole channel closed down, and all that work is gone, So, and then you got to get a glossary of all the words you can and cannot say on YouTube, and they've really made it hard for just about anybody. They made it hard for conservatives, but they also made it hard for liberals because there are certain words that both sides use that YouTube doesn't like. So. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get going here. I'm going to upload this real quick and get it on there, and I'll keep you guys informed as to what's going on and how I'm doing and what I'm doing, and we'll go from here. But if you're interested in the other show, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I was doing them live. I'm going to be uploading them, so they'll be uploaded by about 6 o'clock on each of those days. You can go check them out. I have a friend, Ralph Epperson, who wrote those 2 books, the first and second one I showed you. And he's going to be on there with me a lot now, so I think you'll really enjoy what he has to say. Not only enjoy it, but he's for lack of better words, maybe prophetic in nature, and because a lot of things that he wrote in The Unseen Hand are actually happening these days, and but he explains why they're happening. So anyway. So I'm going to say adios, and you guys have a wonderful week, month, whatever it is, until I see you next time, okay? And from Old Man Melter here in rainy Cottage Grove, Oregon, I say farewell and adieu, and I'll see you next time. Bye.